And what other thing I like to say?
Peace to the family. It's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Back at the original office, the crib. Um, it's been like a real Murphy's Law type of day. Anything that could go wrong would go wrong. But I'm in high spirits. Hope you are in the same spirits. Today we're going to be discussing. That's already distracted me. Already. Let me deal with that. Today we're going to be dealing with some astrology. So be sure to visit learnsidereal.com to get these full articles, full videos. Uh, got a couple of I'm gonna do a full course lecture this week in reference to the basics of sidereal astrology. And from there, we're going to be doing courses on herbs. We're going to be doing courses on, the plan is herbs, nakshatras, fixed stars, and really all things sidereal astrology. It's a lot to learn, but I wanted to have a place to have all of this information. And right now, I'm taking a loss by having the site up. I've been taking a loss by having the site up. However, it's something that I'm very driven to spiritually to bring the collective something that they probably never seen before. And I understand that people think they know what they need versus knowing what they don't need and things of that nature. But shit, I never knew what I didn't know until I learned it. So I posted on Instagram today about forget your feelings. Nobody cares about your feelings. And I know people don't really understand that, but the reality is feeling creates stagnancy. And the worst thing about life is stagnancy because we are perpetually growing, we are perpetually learning, we are perpetually absorbing new information and new energy that if we feel a certain type of way, like it's people right now that be like, I don't like you. I feel like what you said is stuff that I don't like and things of that nature, but I done moved so outside of my feelings and moved more into the energy of love and joy that can't nobody take that away. You know, ain't no feeling that is worth more than like sadness or depression. And, you know, with this high energy, people want to bring you down. And I feel that a lot of times. I feel like uh people aren't as genuine as I am or as giving as I am and things of that nature. And I feel like people hold it against me for me being the way that I am. And over this past couple of weeks, it's been very difficult for me. It's been very personally trying because, you know, I was under the impression that the more that you give, the more that you get back. And that is a true statement. It's just that it doesn't come directly from the people that you give to. So, with that being said, I want to dive straight into this astrology because, as we see on the screen, Sun conjunct Mercury is a big deal. And this energy is conjunct the fixed star energy of Antares. Now, I want to explain this energy of Antares the best way that I can. So, let's first start with Anti. Now, Anti is an album, I think the last album by Rihanna. Yeah, it's a Corona type of day. It ain't no tea, no coffee, no nothing today. It's straight up Corona because it's been that type of energy. It's like I'm at a point in my life where I want love, right? And I understand that I'm not going to be able to get love. So I'm just like, I just need to be left alone, right? It's like when you get into this level and you understand these things and people come around you, you got to start asking, like, why are you around me? What's the purpose? And generally, people ain't going to give you the answer sufficiently to what your purpose is. Because I could have a real live purpose that I'm working for, and people will enter into your vicinity and they disrupt your purpose. Like, that is the reason that they come into your life. And that's the craziest thing. And if you don't, and people act like because I'm spiritual, that everything in my life is going to be perfect. And if you listen to content creators that always show you the bright side, they not being realistic. And another thing, you can listen to constant content creators. Like, I be skimming through like content creators, and these new breed of content creators, they just more or less tell you about the boogeyman and don't give you any solutions and regurgitate things that they heard from Bobby Hemmett and things of that nature. But I want to talk about some new information. I want to do a case study on Rihanna. Rihanna is by far the most successful musical entity in the planet, bar none, right? Rihanna got the most songs. Rihanna has the most songs on Billboard that got 1 billion views. 1 billion. So what we're talking about Rihanna is a goddess. And Rihanna is from Barbados. Now, if you know anything about Barbados, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama, to Bermuda, little Barracuda. Ooh, I want to take you. Y'all ain't hip to that song. Y'all know nothing about that song. Anyways, Rihanna is from Atlantis. Rihanna is a goddess of Atlantis. Now, the deal is we'll give you all of the money in the world. We'll give you all of the success in the world. Just don't bring about the new age. So, anti is a specific energy and related to Aries because Antares, I'm sorry, anti is specifically related to Antares. Antares is broken down to anti, the name of her last album, anti Aries. So that's anti war or anti the god of war or anti war energy. But the most interesting thing about this album cover is that it shows you that she is the Atlantean queen, but it also shows you that she's blindfolded to her power, meaning that her crown needs to be up a little more so she could begin to see how much she is a goddess. Now, Rihanna is the first incarnation of the goddess reborn, period. Okay, she embodies the energy of Barbello. Now, people don't know what Barbello is, but like Anti, she wears red. And this is the energy that all human beings remember. We remember the energy of the goddess, being one with the goddess, being one with it all. And the goddess is so benevolent, she created her destructive energy. What does that look like in real life? That looks like a beautiful mom and dad having a baby. We've all seen it. And now the baby smoking crack when they get older. Now the baby doing heroin and the baby doing all types of weird stuff, ruining the family's legacy. Because the kid don't know how hard that the parents have worked. Now that's the story in a nutshell of the goddess Barbello. But you know me, I like to read. Even though it's a third grade reading level, I never heard y'all complain. So let's continue. Barbello refers to the first emanation of God. So that's the singularity. That's being one with the goddess. And that's what this new solar eclipse energy is about. You do rituals, you do spells, you do serious work during this time to be one with the goddess. Barbello is often depicted as a supreme female principle, the single passive antecedent to creation in its manifoldness. This figure is also variously referred to as mother slash father, the first human being, the triple androgynous name, or eternal eon, So prominent was her place among some Gnostics that some schools were designated as a Barbelliet. Barbello worshippers are Barbello Gnostics. So I want to show you that it's all cosmology. The cosmology of Barbello is tied into Antares. Now, I want y'all to look at the size of Antares. Now, the size of our sun in comparison to Antares, we can't even see it. It's small. I'm gonna zoom this in. This is education. This is real life spiritual education. So if you come in here to get entertained and shuck and jive, you might, go down the hallway. There's somebody telling you about the boogeyman. The boogeyman, white man that's coming to take your kids and things of that nature. Go down there. Right here, we doing education. So a requirement to my videos is a pen and paper to learn this information so you can embed it within your psyche so you can understand. And this information don't have nothing to do with me. And because this information don't have nothing to do with me, I might struggle just as bad as y'all, maybe even worse, because spirituality don't absolve you of nothing, right? Because the goal is to understand. And if I'm here boasting my ego, telling y'all how great I am and how good my life is, then I'm not really concentrating on the study. I'm concentrating on my ego. But I say all of that to say sun worship and energy is very much minuscule when it comes to Antares or anti-Aries or the goddess energy Barbello, the original light source. So when you look up the nakshatra of Antares, the nakshatra of Antares is Jayesta. Now Jayesta is translated to the eldest. So this is the most massive, biggest star that scientists, um, astrologers, astronomers rather, anybody who looks in the sky, this is the biggest, right, star on the planet. Now I want to ask y'all a question. Who I want y'all to put it in the chat in your mind. Who is the biggest pop star today? We talking about more than music. I'm not talking about just music. I'm talking about makeup, clothes, social media, videos. If Rihanna put out a CD, I bet you she put out a CD this week or very soon to capitalize on this energy. But y'all just keep y'all fingers close because she signed to Jay-Z's Rock Nation. The solar eclipse takes place December 4th. Guess whose birthday that is? Jay-Z's. Okay? So I just want y'all to understand when we talk about the magic, when we talk about the rituals, we tuning in to the greatest, most eldest light source in the universe, Antares, the great mother, Barbello. Don't get it twisted, don't get it confused. Hopefully I'm clear. You could say Beyonce, Beyonce for sure, but Beyonce for sure, but it ain't really nothing like Fenty. I don't know. No, I don't be feeling like that. Ivy Park is, and that's a partnership with goddamn Adidas. That damn Fenty, and Beyonce married. Rihanna single. Imagine if Rihanna was married to Jay-Z. Think about that. That's some hot shit right there. If you really think about it. Rihanna or Beyonce? I think Rihanna is the most powerful entity music has ever seen in the history of life. However, I mean, hey, Mr. DJ, um, what's the shit? I killed the man. She put out a song about killing a nigga. I don't think Beyonce ever put out a song about how she just murdered somebody, and that was probably the best song I ever heard in my life. And I know it hurts her unfaithful and it kills me inside. I know that I am that. Listen, anyways, everything is cosmology. Everything relates to our fascination with divination of astrology. So in this stele, you might see Mayat, right? You see Mayat, but you also see Mayat with Anubis, and in front of Mayat is Serket. Serket is the great scorpion energy. Now, if you're looking for a lady with a scorpion on her ass, matter of fact, it is some ladies with scorpions on her ass. I digress. However, to this degree, I can feel it crying. I don't wanna hurt her anymore. I don't wanna earn the reason why. Every time I walk out the door, you can't. Beyonce could never. Listen, Beyonce would never, could never, should never. Anyways, this was a redirection or a correspondence. Circat was a correspondence of Antares and or Scorpio. Why? Because Antares is the heart of Scorpio. It is the big dog energy of Scorpio. However, to have first we got the Sun conjunct Mercury conjunct Antares energy. The first thing that we have to do before we do any magic, before we do any ritual, she got an Isis tattoo. She need to get a circuit tattoo and stop playing while she bullshitting. Why you bullshitting? But she not a Scorpio. She was born February 20th, which would put her in the range of big Scorpio energy, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's big Scorpio energy, sidereal, and probably no Pisces. If she's a Pisces, could be. It depends on the degree. Pisces, Aquarius type energy, life changing energy. Oh, I got a donation. Shout out to Mama Vet for the donation. Ashe to you and your ancestors. May you have good luck for the rest of your life. I really do appreciate that donation. I'm giving blessings and good energy for anybody that donate me because I be seeing people donate to trash ass content creators and I don't say nothing. But I'm saying something now. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem, right? Anyways, before we get tuned into the magic of Antares, we got a conjunction of the Sun and Mercury, meaning that we got to tap into our inner Suge Knight energy, our inner gangster mogul. You got to think it, speak it, and put people in order. If you consider yourself a boss, I don't consider myself a boss. However, if you do consider yourself a boss, you need to do your delegation work. Ain't no boss because I do everything mostly by myself. So that don't make me a boss. That just make me a crazy person. A boss sits back and tells people what to do. Okay? And in order for you to tap into your executive skills, we dealing with Mercury. Mercury, the pituitary gland, the sun. The sun deals with, give or take, your solar plexus and or your heart chakra. It just depends on how high you vibrating. But in the energy of Sun conjunct Mercury, your pituitary gland, your master gland, it's more of a directive on who you are and what you about. You got to be bold this week. You need real bold energy because you tuned in and tapped into the most ancient energy in the universe. Right now we have access to it. We have a deep alignment with it. And the thing about Antares is that it's a Bohemian fixed star. Bohemian. Let me see if I can put that in the chat. Ooh, they not hating on me. I can put stuff in the chat today. Bohemian. I know you saying, okay, Hood, what does Bohemian mean? Bohemian is a fixed star that represents stars that you could do magic with, right? The Arabic word bombing, which means root or root worker, is saying that the energy of this particular fixed star, Antares and or Rihanna energy, is available for us all. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to tap into my inner Fenty. Can we get that in the chat? Are we ready to tap into our inner Fenty, fellas? Because the ladies is ready. Are you ready to tap into your inner Fenty? Okay. This $1 billion business, your support, your soul group, everybody involved, right? And you just got to channel this energy. You think Rihanna worked hard? I mean, of course she worked hard, but to be Rihanna, like to be her energy, her essence, does she have to work good on that? I got another. Breezo sent me something in the DMs about pheromones, about Rihanna's pheromones. When everybody see her, they be like, "Ooh, she smells so good." Right? And that's a natural energy. She don't got to work good for what she's like. For us, we might have to channel this particular energy, but for her, she just get it natural. Maybe it's Maybelline, but in order to tune in and tap into this energy ancestrally, when you deal with fixed star astrology, tap into that inner Fenty. That's what I'm talking about. When you talk about Antares, you talking about a powerful energy that magical people siphon from based upon astrological alignment. It's people that been waiting on this astrological alignment all year because these astrological alignments are portals. I always tell about the story in 2017, the solar eclipse that took place that summer. Me and my wife went to a mound. I'm telling y'all, I always tell y'all stories about my YouTube channel, but this YouTube channel used to not be nothing. It just used to be talking to like 2 subscribers. But I was doing the same thing that I'm doing today, but that was a specific solar eclipse, a new moon, an intention, and I had my intention for my business and my YouTube channel to grow and be successful and help people. And maybe I need to level up, but I utilized that solar eclipse energy at a mound, and that shit worked like gangbusters. So when I tell y'all solar eclipse are new moons times 10, you can do spiritual work during this week. And I'm not making it up. Hopefully I'm making sense to y'all when I say Antares is 10,000 times the size of our sun. So our new moon intentions would be a 1. Conjunct Antares is times 10,000. That's an amplifier for your ass. So if y'all ready for y'all inner Fenty, and it sound like infinity, right? Ashe. That's some things that we'll be talking about today. So if you can understand and if you can remember how powerful you are at a spiritual level, because when we were conjunct with Antares, when Antares was our light source, our energy can remember it. This is why Rihanna is booked probably for the next 5 years. Because people just will wait 5 years to get around her to see her. If y'all don't understand that Rihanna is a star, Rihanna is a star. Antares is a star. Now, this 10,000 times massive energy is reduced to a 5'7" Caribbean girl from Barbados. This whole energy is within her, but as above, so below, because now we have access to it. Major gateway energy when the sun conjuncts Mercury. And again, another interesting astrological thing about Mercury conjunct sun. This is the only aspect that the sun and Mercury could experience. Since the sun's gravitational pull and Mercury's 88-day circumvention of the sun, the earth and Mercury and the sun never get too far from another. It doesn't even get to be Mercury trine sun. Nobody is born with the sun trine Mercury. Nobody is born with the sun opposing Mercury. Nobody is born with the sun sextile Mercury. You're either born with the Mercury in retrograde, which is awesome, or you're born with sun conjunct Mercury. Now, to get an analogy, you have to speak boldly, act boldly, and act as if your shit don't stink, even if it do, i.e., big shug night energy. Okay. Another thing about Scorpio, another thing about Antares is that you can't imagine. So I like to say, you can't know what you don't know. And the problem with spiritual people, I talk to spiritual people like in the DMs and text messages and shit. And these people really be feeling like everything they do is right and exact. I heard somebody say one time, this person told I was doing this reading and this person told me I was wrong. And I looked at them and told them I'm never wrong. My spirits are never wrong. And I was just thinking like I'm just the total opposite. Cause if you got a reading from me, I'd be like, if I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong so I can adjust it. Cause I don't know about you more than you. I don't know what you did last summer. I ain't goddamn what's the girl from I know what you did last summer? I ain't one of them. I don't know, nor do I care. However, I just use mathematical computations and things of that nature. And just so happens people be like, you know what? That resonates with me. It does? I'll be so surprised. I don't have no ego when I do a reading. People be like, that really resonates with me. I'll be like, it do? $40 in the back of the alley really resonate with you? Because I would have thought you was against that. No, that's what I want to do, Hood. That's my life's purpose. To work at a strip club and get $40 income. Anyways, with these particular fixed stars, so what y'all can do, I put it in the chat and I'm going to put it in the chat again. I want y'all to go to the Wikipedia page, okay? I want y'all to go to the Wikipedia page and type Bohemian fixed stars. Okay, and when y'all go to the Wikipedia page, y'all gonna scroll down a little bit. It's gonna give y'all a list of stars. Okay, it's gonna give y'all a list of crystals. Okay, and it's going to give y'all a list of herbs. Okay, some of the herbs y'all not gonna be able to get. Some of the herbs y'all can get. Some of the energies are not going to be in alignment. Some of the energies will be in alignment. However, I want y'all to see it for your own eyes. Then I want y'all to go to let's keep learning because you know there's never enough learning. Astro-seek.com. Sidereal charts, fixed stars. Okay, now look at your chart and look at where your placements is and see where your alignments is in relation to the fixed stars. Then y'all will have a powerful list of the crystals and herbs that work with y'all fixed stars. And y'all can thank me later. Y'all can donate to my Cash App after y'all get y'all little windfall. However, as we give, you know, easy give, easy go. Easy come, easy go. So if y'all forget who told y'all this, because I should have trademarked shadow work. I should have trademarked shadow work. Anyways, for Antares, for those of y'all who don't want to go to the wiki page and don't want to Google Bohemian fixed stars, I'll just tell y'all. Onyx and amethyst for this new moon energy, for this solar eclipse. You don't got an onyx, get you an amethyst. Guess what I'm wearing right now? Big old amethyst on your ass, knocking on your front door. Now the herb for Antares is birthwort, but that's so hard to find. So instead, I'm gonna do a blend of mugwort, motherwort, and lady's mantle herb. You can get any other, there's other female herbs, raspberry leaf, but ultimately the herb that we want to deal with, gotta make sure you deal with mother goddess energy. Okay? So no ashwagandha, no sacred whorehound, no horny goat sweet, nothing like that. But we doing pure feminine energies, whether you drinking tea, whether you're doing incense, whether you're doing a steam, these herbs and these crystals, okay, are talismans or correspondences with this great Antares energy. Now, you cannot do work during this week, and that's because you listen to Boogeyman as YouTube content creators. Okay? Big Pegasus energy. So, we're going to continue our little story of Medusa because I thought this would be cool. Turns out it's aggravating me. So I'm going to cut it off and we're going to talk about Mars, Trine, Neptune. Mars is in Libra behind all of the action. It is trining Neptune because all of the energy has progressed into Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius. Uranus is in Aries. So from Aries to Mars, Mars in Libra, that's all of our celestial cosmological energy in that upper half. So what that says specifically is if you're in that lower energy of wanting things and materialism and relationship toxic, liking people on face values and not trying to get your spiritual order in life, you really having a tough time out here in these streets. And you probably blaming your baby dad because of it. In the reality, Capricorn, Saturn is about connecting to your higher self. Our problem is we connected to our baby mama and our baby daddy and our girlfriend and our boyfriend before we connected to our soul. Very simple. You care about your relationship status, you care about your finances more than you care about your soul. What is the greatest irony? That when you connect with your higher self, you get the love, you get the money in abundance. But you won't never know until you know. So Mars trine Neptune, which takes place today, right now, is a constellation called Neptune is of course on the ecliptic in the barrier between Aquarius and Pisces. But above this energy is the constellation of Pegasus. Pegasus is, we got to talk about this story in this mythology so it can make some sense to us. So, yes, last week we had not last week, 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we had a full lunar eclipse conjunct. The moon was conjunct the fixed star, Algol, which represents Medusa. Now, this little guy at the bottom of the page, he's holding that head. That's the fixed star of Medusa. Now, when we first got into consciousness and spirituality and we was hearing all of this mythologies, we was trying to decode these mythologies and we would say, oh, it's about black women with faux locks. It's about the divine goddess and things of that nature. It very well could be you and your locks representing Medusa energy. However, the more I study, I just see it as a cosmological story that probably don't have nothing to do with nothing specifically other than keeping us disconnected from our cosmological inheritance. And then within the story, it tells you what this cosmological inheritance is if you understand the deeper level of the story. So generally we stop at Perseus cutting the head off Medusa. Sad about it. Why he do Medusa like that? That ain't right. Perseus gonna get his one day. However, the story continues and it continues cosmologically. The blood that fell upon the ocean that Poseidon rules, because as y'all know, or maybe y'all don't know, this part of the sky is called the deep ocean. In the Bible, they talk about the firmament being like space is just us being covered in water, basically. And that part of the sky is the ocean part of the sky. So essentially, when Perseus kills Medusa, a piece of her blood mates with the ocean, which creates Pegasus. Pegasus is a free flowing vehicle allowing us to go from worlds to worlds. His mama is Medusa, his daddy is Poseidon. To bring that down to regular normal terms, because that would be like, well, what the fuck? Like, when I first read shit, I'd be like, his mama is Medusa and his daddy is Poseidon. Big fucking deal. Like, what are we talking about here? But let's think about this. Medusa is the goddess energy. Of course, what is Al Ghul? Al Ghul is a Bohemian star. So we're gonna put that in the chat for those who just now getting here. Bohemian star are stars that you can do magic with, right? Because you channeling and bringing forth that cosmic star energy. And trust me, these stars are huge in comparison to our stars. However, Medusa represents this cosmic energy, and Perseus, i.e., Perseus represents, the name is escaping me right now, but in Babylonian mythology, this young god comes up and he says, you know what? I can defeat the goddesses, but you got to make me king. And the old gods and the in between gods say, man, whatever you do, I don't care. We'll worship you forever for the end of time if you can get rid of the goddess. And so he does it, right? And that's our Jesus energy. That's our Saturn energy. That's our patriarchy energy. And ultimately, the matriarchy is dead. But what is the matriarchy in a cosmological sense? The matriarchy is power. When Perseus disconnects human beings from power, that energy creates a Pegasus. Now, what does a Pegasus represent? Well, when you have this divine energy and you made it with Poseidon, Poseidon is the god of the ocean. So when you think about the ocean, in its most basic sense, the ocean is just huge, right? To count all of the water molecules in the ocean will take you a million lifetimes. The ocean is just huge. It's just extremely vast. It's a whole different ecosystem in comparison to the land. There's more water on this planet than it is Earth. It's a lot of Earth. So I'm saying that all to say that's abundance. Abundance plus magic equates to imagination. Okay? So Mars, trine Neptune. Neptune is conjunct the fixed star in Pegasus, or the constellation in Pegasus. So Neptune and Pegasus is imagination, and this energy works two ways. You can imagine your boyfriend to be a piece of shit, and then everything that he do to cement that idea of him being a piece of shit just confirms your intuition. So when you look at Neptune conjunct Pegasus, or Neptune in a deep immersive imagination, you can imagine the most bullshit scenario. And because you imagine this most bullshit scenario, it surrounds you with bullshit energy. So if you are unbalanced, if you are abnormal, if you're dealing with a lot of disappointments, are you dealing with emotional issues, or are you in a romantic relationship before having a one-on-one relationship with your soul, which you should have done within Gemini, but you thought Gemini energy was negative energy. So all you did was suppress the work that you needed to connect with your soul. And now you're trying to solve it through romantic relationships. Thus, that's imagination. You imagine that this relationship is going to save you. You imagine that this person is going to change. You imagine that they're going to clean up. You imagine that everybody loves you. Imagine this, imagine that. And the reality is that if it doesn't meet up with Mars, the planet of action, Neptune, just thinking and imagining, that's all it's going to be. Okay? So balance out your mind and understand that it's cool to imagine, but you would have to have a specific goal to deal with how you, like, a goal, direction, and an action is a manifestation. A pure imagination, no matter how good it makes you feel, no matter how powerful it is, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you don't put any action to it. So Mars will be trying this energy, right? Now, it's real easy at this part of the zodiac. If you're Aquarius, got a moon in Aquarius, Pisces, Capricorn, these people are generally the worst type of people because y'all just know it all. And because you know it all, you don't sit and try to learn a person with real integrity and real sincerity. You imagine that your judgments and your overall energy is just going to pull you through life. And even if you 10th, 11th, 12th house placements, you do yourself a disservice by not learning because you just, it's an arrogance that I don't think anybody talks to. Aquarius, Capricorn, Pisces, 10th, 11th, 12th house, the arrogance is overwhelming, right? And I'm a sun in the 11th house. So I can understand how like you can have a purpose and all of that, but the fact that you do it, you just be like it make you feel better as opposed to like learning how to deliver effectively. Or it's not like if I do something I could just feel great about it. No, I have to do things and not let it get to my head because tomorrow is a whole new set of challenges. And if I be like, well, I'm the hood mystic, you should be doing like that's some crazy ass shit. But I say all of that to say it's some spiritual people who actually feel as though they don't have to actually put their fire to the flame. You know, they got to put their sword into it. They just all arrogance. And the reality is that people like that. So you might not ever get checked on that other than your inner world and the fact that people is not really fucking with you. Right? People is just you rubbing people the wrong way. And the reality is that people are not even gonna tell you. People are just gonna stop fucking with you. And the deeper thing is that your arrogance blocked you from learning. And because you arrogant, nobody was even going to tell you that you was arrogant. It was just better just to not deal with you. So think about that as you deal with Mars trine Neptune and really figuring out relationships and opportunities that you can learn versus expecting or imagining that this person or energy or situation is going to save you. Mars trine Neptune, in its truest sense, would be to pick a philanthropic endeavor, a space where you volunteer, a place where you are giving your energy with nothing in return, and you set up a long term arrangement. For me personally, what my Mars trine Neptune looks like is me working with a youth group, some young people who really trying to do some major things, and I'm doing a weekly meditation with with these young people, right? For no money, for free, um, volunteer base, and in real life, you know, because I know that teaching these kids now, these kids is future. They not even kids. They in their 20s. They future millionaires. See, you got to get outside of getting things in return, right? Because that blocks your imagination. Your imagination, especially in the context of Pegasus, is more centered on what you can do. Sometimes we try to involve our imagination in what we can get, and that's where we fuck up at. Sun conjunct Mercury, conjunct Saturn. As we said earlier, maybe y'all new here, didn't get the memo. The Sun will be conjunct the fixed star Antares. And the Sun conjunct the fixed star Antares. Let me see. I might have not. I wasn't finished here. So we're going to go back. There's a couple more things I want to touch on. And I don't want to touch on it like that. Trying to figure out. Is it froze? No. It's just me looking down. All right, cool. Here we go. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. There we go. Woo! Goodness gracious. So this is big tortoise and hare energy. Now, like I said, Mars is behind the action in Libra. All of the planets have went forward. Be like Mars is the most powerful planet because it's the planet of action. So what you have is a lot of philosophical, a lot of thinking tanks and emotional stuff, and it's like a bunch of people talking, right? No action, right? How do you how do you master this energy? While everybody is talking, guess what you're doing? You're acting, right? And if you act in your own little small little way and doing this little thing that you need to do, slow and steady wins the race type energy. This is a solar eclipse. So we set in our intentions through our actions, of course. But at the same time, we're not in competition, nor are we rushed. Because all of these energies are going to have to meet up with action at some point. And a lot of times, you probably in a situation right now where a person is talking a good game. How do I know that you in a situation where a person is talking a good game? Because if ain't no action around it, then talking a good game is going to be big hair energy. You running first out the gates, but when it's all said and done, you should have had your energy intact, or a plan or an action plan in relation to that big talk energy. I'm old enough now. I'm 37 years old. There's nothing that nobody can tell me ever. You cannot tell me a damn thing. If you feel like talking to me is moving me, it's just mainly me because I just heard so many people talk that if you don't act without me saying anything, then you probably gonna waste my time. Another thing, what's understood don't need to be said, and what's said don't need it. That don't even make sense, anyways. Uh, I thought I had something. I thought I had something. I didn't. Sun conjunct Mercury, sextile Saturn. Very, very much of if we can remember what we talked about with the Sun conjunct Mercury conjunct Aquarius, those same rules apply. We doing magic and we tune it into the fixed star of Antares. However, right? As long as I can get this irritating thing that I thought was going to be so cool off the screen so I can concentrate. um Thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like the video. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and like the video. Share it to your social medias. Do a screenshot. Put it on your Instagram story. Let the people know what you be watching. I know some of y'all can't do that because y'all got social media followings and y'all don't want to tell people where y'all be getting y'all information from because y'all want to act like y'all information from source. Actually, my information from source and your information is from me. So technically, I deserve some credit. So why don't you do me a good old solid? I be messing with people, and that's the reason why people don't like me. I was thinking about earlier how it's ironic that psychics be talking behind people's back. And I'll be like, don't y'all know that people can hear y'all talking? Like it's not even no secret. Like energetically, we right next to each other. And people just be saying the wildest shit. And I just be like, I can hear you, right? And it's like people be psychic, but they don't know that they psychic. And so since you don't know that you psychic, you be in survival mode, but you somewhat spiritual. So you use your spirituality for survival mode. And so you meet a person like me and it's just like, I don't like him. Like, what you don't I was talking to my wife, like, I was like, I wish people would just tell me that they don't fuck with me so we could just, keep moving. And she was like, they don't got no reason to tell you that they don't fuck with you. They don't fuck with you for all types of reasons. So the reasons that you think that they don't fuck with you, completely irrelevant. So I say all of that to say, and Horrible segue, but we're segueing because I just be having these thoughts and it don't feel right if I don't share them. And I know y'all be listening, so might as well be direct as y'all be indirect because I can't fight fire with fire. I don't be wanting to talk to y'all in the astro plane, nor do I want to talk to y'all in 3D, but I digress. It's up with everybody if y'all didn't realize. Anyways, the sun conjunct Mercury, because there's nothing that person can tell me that could justify fuckery. It just is what it is. So when you think about the sun conjunct Mercury conjunct Antares, you're talking about doing spiritual energy work, whether it's intentions, lighting candles, rituals. And I know what you're thinking. You think you know what you want. So you're going to do a ritual for that man. You're going to do a ritual for that girl. You're going to do a ritual for that job. And before you do it, listen to this. Do a ritual for a strong electromagnetic charge. Do energy for strong electromagnetic charges. Be heart centered because your heart is just like eating the food that produce a healthy heart vibration, exercising, positive energy, not fake energy, survival energy, obligatory energy, ambiguous energy. I only want you because you're around type energy, but the deep love energy beyond feelings, because deep love hurts feelings. So if you are trying to keep people's feelings in order and intact, then there is no love because love is a bowling ball. Whatever is in front of that bowling ball is going to get rolled the fuck over. So the problem to love is obligations. You don't love your obligations. You just wrap your mind and energy because you fear what will happen if you don't meet that obligation. So Mercury, Sun, conjunct Antares is not you looking at your life and saying, Good said the sun and moon and Mercury is conjunct Antares, and my intentions is going to be powered 10,000 times. So all I got to do is do a ritual on Charmaine, and she'll sure attract into my life. I say that's kind of a mistake. That's kind of a different, that's a messed up way to looking at it. You need to look at it for raising your electromagnetic energy so you can be so lit that you might get Charmaine and champagne, if you know what I'm saying. Or maybe Charmaine is champagne and you ain't know Charmaine was, a good girl, and then she seen you turned up. She seen you lit, and she turned into a very freaky girl. Don't bring her to mama, right? See, in the streets, in the hood, I don't know if they talk. I don't know if they use this verbiage now, but right before I got out the streets, it was about being lit. And our goal as men was to be lit. Because when you was lit, that meant you had the money, that meant you had the girls, that meant you had the respect, that meant you had the clout. That boy lit. You can't mess with him. He lit. You know what I'm saying? I say all of that to say that's what we're doing the energy work for, to be lit. Like lit is a level of magnetism, attractiveness, that is going to get you, like, so say if I wanted Charmaine, I can't specifically be like, Charmaine, I think you cute, I want to get with you. Like, if you think that, this is what I know. I know this, well, I was 22 years old when I figured this out. It's one way to get a woman. One way. Because trust me, y'all watch these internet dating gurus and they just, they selling their content. I tell you one way to get a girl. Be the best man that you love being, to the point that you able to just talk to people with no expectation. You just see a girl and you figure out what to talk to her about. And even deeper, you're not talking to her because you like her. You talking to her because you want to talk to her, and you saying that it was nice talking to you, miss. You have a nice day, right? If you can do this persistently, talk to thousands of people with no expectation, you know how much your phone is going to ring with potential suitors. It's going to ring constantly, incessantly. What's the issue with? You think that you need to have game, you think you need to have money, you need to think you had to have all of these things. And maybe you do personally to feel good about yourself, but once you do feel good about yourself, you're going to have to start talking to people. And you can't be back daddy smooth because, I mean, you're going to get what you're going to get, right? And it's not necessarily being nice, because being nice, if you look up the etymology of nice, that's just being stupid. And if you stupid, you a night like, listen, don't no woman like a nice guy. No woman in the world says, I love him and I want to marry him. Why, girl? Because he is so damn nice. He just so nice. Like nobody ever in the history. It's good to have an edge. It's good to have a natural edge. It's good to not take no shit. It's good. Women like when you don't take no shit and you don't allow them to walk over you, because every woman is going to try to walk over you in their nature, even if they don't realize that they're doing it. I digress. Being heart centered will have you recognize all of the bullshit that's happening. And at the same time, you realize that you are a magnet to your deepest and greatest desires. And because you are a magnet to your greatest and deepest desires, you are going to be bold, you're going to be confident, and you're going to know that everything you do is going to be successful. Isn't that much different from the energy that you feel it now? Why is that different? Because the effort that you take is found in the sextile of Mercury, conjunct the Sun, conjunct Antares, sextile and Saturn. Saturn is in the constellation of Capricorn, conjunct the higher constellation of Altair. Altair means the flying eagle. Altair confers bold, confident, valiant, unyielding, ambitious, great and sudden nature for great and infinite wealth. It's about being a leader. It's about seeing everything and making the righteous decision. Now, a sextile is an effort upon knowing that something is going to work out in your favor. And when you do the computations of Mercury conjunct Sun, conjunct the fixed star, which is our magic, sextile Saturn in Capricorn, which is merging with our higher self. If you put the effort into doing magic specifically for merging with the higher self, you have the greatest success of abundant magnetic responses. If you utilize this energy to get a girl and you don't get the girl, it's almost like wasting your golden ticket and never going into the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. However, this is also another time to do shadow work. Because as we said, Mercury conjunct the Sun is in Taurus, which is the heart of the Scorpio. This brings up the story of the scorpion and the frog. A scorpion wants to cross a river but cannot swim, so it asks the frog to carry it across. Midway across, the scorpion stings the frog anyway, dooming them both. The dying frog asked the scorpion why it stung me, despite knowing its consequences, to which the scorpion replied, I couldn't help it. It's in my nature. What is that talking about? That's talking about people in this world who don't do shadow work, right? And if you don't do shadow work, you know when you get into this relationship with this boy, it's going to be fucked up. You know when you get into this relationship with this girl, you're going to cheat on her, you're going to watch porn, you're going to be, doing a whole bunch of backdoor sneaky shit. Because that's your nature, right? You know this. You know, when you get to your job, you gonna hate it, but you need the job to get you need the job to get some money. So you go to the job, you get the relationship, you do the thing externally without doing the shadow work. Let's keep it a buck. You've been in multiple relationships for multiple years, ain't none of them worked out, and you keep blaming the men. How do that work? And you was dating baby mamas this whole entire time. Don't blame it on Kevin Samuels that it's the baby mamas. That's the reason why these relationships ain't working. You was dating baby mamas, many baby mamas, right? All of these things that are happening to you is in relation to your nature. If you're saying, well, you know the guys ain't shit. You know guys nowadays ain't really shit. You're lying. You're lying. The problem with people is that they can't admit to themselves when they're lying to themselves so they can start to make the proper changes internally to start having a different response. Because the response that you're searching for is love and long-term relationships. However, you got triggers, you got emotions, you like a certain type. You always meeting dudes at the bar. You always meeting dudes at the gas station. Never meeting dudes at the library because you ain't going to the library. And the dudes at the library, you just figure they ain't your type. If you got a type and you single, you obviously don't got it. You obviously don't have a type. I'm gonna say that again. Let me get some feedback on the chat if that makes sense. If you got a specific type, male or female, and you single, that's not your type. Because if that was your type, you would have got married by now. And type, was that song by Ray Shrimmer? I don't got no type. Conscious women is the only thing that I like. Hey, I ain't got no type. Cocoa butter girl's the only thing that I like. Hey. I'm just trying to get rid of this irritating ass title that keep popping up. LearnSidereal.com is the movement. Lectures all week long. That's not, it's gotta go. See you later. So, I get to show y'all so y'all can see Neptune in the constellation of Pegasus right here, right? Isn't that awesome? Ain't no astrologers going to be talking about Neptune conjunct the constellation of Pegasus. However, we can bear witness with our own eyes where Neptune will be at during this week. Shea Butter Gang, where they at? Where they at? Where they at? Hey, y'all still be dating girls that be wearing lotion. I feel so bad for y'all. Y'all gonna go out and meet a girl at the club and she gonna look at you in a straight face when put some goddamn watered down lotion on her body and act like she moisturizing herself. And y'all don't got no damn choice. Dudes got the worst options out here in these streets. Feel bad. Not too bad, but they need to level up. Anyways. uh-uh. I don't strive to get people like when you getting educated, when you go to a school, you learning. It's not about agreeing. It's about understanding it for yourself and figuring out your own breakthroughs. I didn't ever even say nothing. I don't even speak from a space of debate because I don't even. It's like going to school or going to your professor and, you know, imagining as a student, if I go to, let's say, math class it's already a given that I don't understand math. So I can't be arguing or disagreeing more than if he presents a problem or an equation for me to do the math and see if it checks out, right? That's more or less of the energies because nobody talks about astronomy to black people, right? People like astronomy is based on observation. And if you can break down these codes, your imagination is your imagination. That's what Pegasus represents, right? Neptune is an expander to these particular energies. So in this particular time, you'll see people really expanding their thoughts. Now, how this shows up is because Neptune is sextile Venus. Venus is kind of loose, and Sagittarius very passionate. But the thing about passions are like horses, where if you're not able to control them, they'll just run your ass over. Venus is subjective, it wants what it wants. And everybody allowed to say what they say and do what they do and live how they live. But when you present information that people have never heard, I wouldn't never go to a class or learn to argue with the person that's teaching. That don't even make sense. It's not an egoic thing for me. It's just a natural thing. If I knew it, I wouldn't even be in the class. But if I'm trying to learn, I'm so busy taking notes. I'm so busy trying to absorb information and garner this new energy that I didn't know shit about, that I'll be trying to figure it out. Because a lot of times everything is everything, and everything is about going within and connecting to these energies. But sometimes people try to go out, connect to these energies, and it don't make no sense. And they talk about it and it don't make no sense. But I find that people only judge people based upon how many people, other people, is around that person, and never base a person based upon what a person say. Because it's been a lot of times where I've heard people like in this age, it's like people would be talking for multiple hours, and it's like, well, what did you say? And that's happening more than a lot. Like people are just talking to talk. So, in reference to the information I'm bringing forth, is about me educating myself, taking notes, preparing a presentation, preparing a lecture for people who are interested in this knowledge. It's a thing like that you would do because nobody else is doing it and you feel like it's a need for you to get out there and do it. I suggest you go out and do that, because in that lane you are the authority no matter what happens, because you made a decision to be that. Now, when you do that, you got to also understand that people going to be like, well, who the fuck you think you is? Everybody don't got to agree with you. Everybody don't got to, like, that's not even the context of it. It's something that got to really be worked and pressed, because if we're not able to listen to a person when they speak without trying to undermine them and undercut them and figure out how you do what you do and why you do what you do, and like, it's a lot of weird energy for people who want to stand out and really speak your truth and really heal black people. When you really got a heart to do that, you gonna have all types of attacks. You know what happens to a lot of us? We say fuck it. We get our money, we get our cars, we get our houses, and you never see us again. Because to educate black people, probably the hardest thing to do. Because they don't care. And once they figure out you doing it, they want to argue with you. But they don't want to argue with you for real. They want to argue with you in their mind, argue with you in their heart. And the whole time you was presenting information that was going to save their life outside of information that was even known. So if I didn't know something, I wouldn't say, I don't like that. I would say, I don't know that. Let me seek to know that. And as of yet, like, new information, downloads, and channels, and things of that nature, that's very important. Since the CIA has infiltrated the spiritual community, which I tend to get for spiritual conversations is a whole bunch of rhetoric and nothingness, right? Nothingness, a whole bunch of shit that you agree with, have heard before, and no downloads, no specifics, no particular portals, no particular new information. So, Venus sextile Neptune is based upon relationships. Relationships in the aspect of betrayal or devotion. If you are not devoted to your partner, if you're not devoted to your job, if you're not devoted to that thing that you are committed to, obligated to, you are thus betraying it. Venus sextile Neptune doesn't allow you to be I can never pronounce this word, ambiguous, and that's not even right. Ambiguous. Does it say ambiguous, ambiguity, whatever? And for me, I say what I want to say, how I want to say it, because I rather you hate me. Rather you hate me. I rather you disagree with me. I rather you act like I exist than you to kind of agree, kind of not agree, kind of understand, not really understand. When I understand entirely what the fuck I'm talking about. It's not no wiggle room in the conversation that I put forward, and it's not a dogmatic conversation versus what you have to do or what you don't have to do. More or less, I'm saying that ambiguous. There we go. Ambiguous black people ain't worth shit. Because people can love you, people can support you, people can understand you down to a T. They just choose not to. And if you accept ambiguous energy, where people take you or leave you, people act like they understand you, but only understand you because it seems that other people is understanding you. So let me see what other people think of you and let me be where other people is at. But the reality of figuring out your personal shit and figuring out your relationships is not a space of people taking you or leaving you. You go to your job and people ain't happy to see you. You go to your job and they just treat you like another individual. And you just worked 50 hours last week. You done saved some damn puppies or some shit and you ain't even get employee of the week last week. You know, that's betrayal energy. Because imagination is king and your subjective energy is king and your passion is a real thing. And because we suppress our passions, because we don't recognize our passions, or because we don't love our passions and love the people that we are in relationships with, or even listen to people and say, you know what, I'm gonna be led by you, I'm gonna listen to you, I'm gonna be directed by you because I don't know shit. I know that I don't know shit. And if it wasn't like when I went to a parenting class for my children, I didn't know shit about parenting. I didn't know shit about taking care of children or raising children. I didn't know. So why would I just be around my children, telling them what to do, telling them what not to do, and I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing? If you be like, well, I love my kids. What classes have you took? I don't need to take no class. I'm just doing the same things that my mama did. Imagine me going to that parenting class like, well, and of course there was times that I went to this parenting class like I don't want to hear nothing that these niggas is talking about. Of course, when you first go to a class, it's like, oh, now I can't smoke the weed. This is my weed smoke time. Now I can't do my session. Now I gotta go listen to this motherfucker tell me about being a parent. Shit, by the third week, I was the first person in class. Like, what we talking about today, boss? Let me take my notes. Let me learn this new information. We haven't been taught to listen, and it's really doing us a disservice because Aquarius energy, Pisces energy, Capricorn energy, for me, now this is just for me. My life is a million times better excluding them types of energies out my life. And I'm not saying that you are a bad person. I'm saying for me, because I'm an avid learner. I don't know shit. I don't know a damn thing. I don't know shit. Right? This is why I study. This is why I take notes. This is why I take notes on top of notes. This is why I write an article and do everything that I do in reference to this information because I don't know anything. However, I like not knowing shit. It allows me to be very much in love with everything that I do. I don't it's a not turn off, but it don't allow for growth for people to just act like know-it-alls. And know-it-alls is very repulsive to me. But that's just me. Uh sneaky link energy. Sneaky link energy. A lot of people are married, right? Full ring, full vows, all of that. They just don't got no ring. They ain't get their names changed. And they probably not even talking to the person that they married to. They probably married to somebody who actually married because sex, in this context, Venus conjunct Sagittarius, passion, true love, sneaky leak energy, where you able to be your true self, but you ain't never gonna tell your family and friends, yeah, I be getting my back blew out by this dude that's married. Yeah, me and her, we be sneaky linking. She got a dude though, but we creep in the back. This don't got nothing to do with me, but I know for sure that the sneaky link energy is real. I've been presented with sneaky link energy and I turned it down. I could have very well been in a sneaky link paradigm right now. However, I just don't need that energy right now. I got a lot of lot of positive energy working for me that, you know, having shit come back on me in that way very bad. But what you're dealing with is an energy, a force of nature that is bound to come back because that's what it does. If you got your passions in order and you're not on that sneaky link time, think about art, think about creativity. Also, think about the Sun conjunct Mercury this week, being an executive, being a leader, being bold, taking risks, right? Now, if I say taking risk, how you said take risk, Hood Mystic, but you said don't do a sneaky link. Ain't a sneaky link taking a risk? But that risk ain't going to give you no good energy. Time after time after time is going to create some type of karma that you're going to deal with, especially going through a new moon where your intentions is 10 times heavy and you ain't did no shadow work. All of your negative energy is repressed. So now you just reacting. Oh, I need a side bitch. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need that. Oh, I need a dude that I can creep with and do all of this stuff. The problem of your life is that you in the energy of ambiguity. Love is life, sharing, not for hurt. Love is alive, both, not ambiguous. Love is a whole life, not an affair. So if you with somebody that you really like, but you can't tell nobody about it, that's sneaky link energy. And that's not love. And you fooling yourself. And you imagining that it was going to turn and it's going to change. And this can happen in so many different areas. You could be in a long-term relationship and a person has been manipulating you this whole entire time. Now you get to the real, and now you got to figure out what the fuck you going to do past getting manipulated, past realizing. I think Spirit told me like one of the most important questions that you want to ask yourself in reference to Venus sextile Neptune is, if I could do this situation all over again, the job, whatever the case may be, if I could do it over again, the relationship, would I make the same choice? If a person's been manipulative, if a person been using your energy and you realize it, you absolutely won't make the same choice. So thus, you got to understand of what's being said, that love is always waiting for you. Love could be a person, since we got to deal with this. Irritating my soul. All right, love. I'll be in my own world. Sometimes y'all gotta excuse me. Total solar eclipse takes place December 4th, Jay-Z's birthday. Um, if you're thinking about it from a space of love is waiting for you, you got to think about it from your higher self being the first love relationship in Gemini, then the relationship that you have with yourself, the natural response is a romantic, loving relationship that leads in balance. The next place that you meet at is in Scorpio, where you make hot, sweet love or you have a newborn baby. But ultimately, the the baby don't start with the person that you having sex with. The baby, not the baby that you're going to have with your wife or husband, or the energy that you're going to create through Kundalini and have a rebirth of your soul. It starts with mating with your higher self in Gemini. Now, progress through that energy, we come to Scorpio, we come to Antares, where you should have all of this shit laid out. You should have your love, your business, your relationships, all of this intact. So you can really hammer home into this Antares energy come this total solar eclipse. Why? Because love is always waiting for you. Love is always available for you. That is the most powerful mantra that you can say during this week. Every single day you wake up, to know that love is waiting for you right outside of your door. Every step that you take within your purpose, love is waiting for you. Now, if you looking for an old girl to be at the corner store when you go pick up your Black and Milds in the morning, we're going to have to rethink that, because the first level of love happens in Gemini when we connect to our higher self. And with this Saturn Capricorn energy, we should be able to materialize this, right? Anyways, what is a solar eclipse? Well, ladies and gentlemen, a solar eclipse occurs when the moon gets between the earth and the sun, and the moon casts a shadow over the earth. A solar eclipse can only take place at the phase of a new moon, when the moon passes directly between the sun and the earth and its shadows falls upon the earth's surface. The next solar eclipse that will be taking place will be on December 4th, 2021, and it will be a total solar eclipse. If you are in Antarctica, some of y'all is in Antarctica right now. Peace to the Antarctica listeners, and I get a hella views from Antarctica. I'll be checking my analytics. Uh, shout out to Antarctica. Shout out to South Africa, Namibia, South America, South Atlantic. They will be able to see the total solar eclipse. For the rest of us, we'll just be talking about it on YouTube. So, the nakshatra that this new moon will be taking place in Vedic mythology is Jayastha. As I stated earlier, Jayastha is translated to the elder. The symbol is an earring. Now, it could be the indication of development of nerves in the ear and the ability to respond to sounds during this period. However, when you think about an earring, you also think about like a diamond or a stud. And of course, it's not about having an actual diamond studded earring more than it is to be clairaudient. to be able to hear. Now, why is that important? Because you don't know shit. I mean, affirm, reaffirm that you don't know shit. Because the moment you feel like you know shit, you tapped into arrogant energy. And when you tapped into arrogant energy, you another way saying that I'm gonna just wake up and miss my blessings. Because I know everything, but I want shit and I don't know how to get it. But my arrogance is blocking me from learning new information to get what I want. I feel like he know it all. I feel like I don't like him. I feel like, why is he talking that way? Why he act like that? Da, 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 da. So the reality of this clear audience energy is found in doing shadow work. Why? Because Scorpio represents alchemy. Now, alchemy is to purify yourself of all your toxin, is to transmute the lead energy into gold. In order to transmute this energy, you have to start. First of all, you got to start. Now, to start, you have a solar eclipse, you have a new moon. What does a new moon represent? It represents new beginnings. The interesting thing about beginnings is that if you start off good, it ends off bad. The powerful part of taking the alchemical new moon is recognizing the negative energy that you experience and now transmuting that into positive energy, thus ensuring a positive outcome. What do I mean? I mean, whatever happens to me physically, mentally, I done been through so much horrible shit in my life that can't nothing but good things happen to me. And it may not be good to you, but you ain't never came through what I came through. I done came through all types of bullshit, all types of negative energies that I never thought that I would be able to get over, but somehow I did. Not all beginnings are happy. Not all beginnings are comfortable. Some of us, not all of us, but some of us had to come through a whole bunch of bullshit. And we looked at that bullshit as woe is me. But I tell everybody who has had a difficult and tough life that the best is yet to come. Another thing, the worst is far behind you. Now, since our negative thing, since if you had a rough upbringing, the issue with that is that when you are triggered and when you are emotional, you key into an energy that you know very well, which is immaturity and poor coping skills. It's perfectly fine to talk to y'all when everything is good. When you got a little bit of money in the bank, when your rent is paid, but the moment y'all triggered, the moment that y'all in this energy space, that's because you are immature and you don't know how to cope. Because when the beginning of your life, when shit was happening, you reverted into your PTSD energy. And when you was in your PTSD energy, you internalized being powerless. Now, this sun conjunct moon and Antares is nothing but power. What blocks people from this power is to think, hey, my emotional triggers and reactions are always going to be there. Therefore, I don't I don't actually need to do shadow work. I don't actually need to remove my negative self images. I don't actually have to tune into my inner world and understand that my inner world creates my outer world. I don't have to realize that centering myself is where my true power is, as opposed to buying things, having things, wanting things as being power. So the question comes, do you deal with the external world and all of its frustrations, all of its lack of power, all of its disconnected from source, or do you tune into a level of joy, which is centering yourself, tuning into your central nervous system, which is a straight line directed to the cosmos, understanding your sacral chakra, your navel, which is the silver cord that connects you to your mother, which would be a deeper analogy that you are connected to the divine mother, and everything is everything. Can you do the work to find that emotional feeling of being connected to the goddess, or are you just going to say it? Right? Of course, I'm connected to the goddess hood. I watch your videos every Tuesday. Look at my V shape. Of course, I'm connected to the goddess hood. So it's a particular inner world realization of clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, the deeper understanding that you are not human, that you are physical energy, all of these things that I've been putting forth to the collective. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. You are pure energy. You are connected to the cosmos, the mythology surrounding the cosmos, shadow work, chakra work. All of this is a result of my connectedness to the goddess. Before I was connected to the goddess, guess what, family? I wasn't writing no books. I wouldn't talk about no chakras. I wouldn't talk about none of this because I wasn't connected to it. The moment that I got connected to it, at first I had these ideas, but I couldn't effectively communicate it. Thus, I had to learn. Why? Because I didn't know shit. And after writing books, doing lectures, preparing notes, doing videos, teaching, I still don't know shit. I dare your conscious leader to say the same thing because it's all about ego and not about learning. Tomorrow I want to wake up with an empty canvas. That's strength, right? That's power. That's magic. Very simply, this is a shadow work moon because there are some unacceptable energies within your nature that cause you to get on the scorpion's back and sting the scorpion midway when you crossing the river. See, your goal is to get to the other side of the river before you get emotionally triggered. And the reality is that if you got emotionally triggered capabilities, a relationship, a career, an opportunity is only going to present itself long enough for you to fuck it up. What is the saying? Give a person enough rope, see if they hang themselves. There's something about your nature. There's something about if you feel like it should be more money in your bank account, if you feel like it should be more girls in your bed, right? If you feel like shit, I need a man right now. I look too good. I'm too fine. This pussy too good for me to not be sleeping with somebody right now. Then it serves you not to worry about the men more than figuring out why can't you attract the man with your good pussy having ass, right? That don't make sense. How your pussy that good and that don't make sense. It's time to do shadow work, and this is the perfect moon to do it. What is that unacceptable part of you that just lingers on? That when somebody start picking at it, poking at it, oh, Spirit said they fear commitment. You need to figure out why you fear commitment, because as long as you keep that energy of fear and commitment, guess what's going to happen? 7 months, 8 months of hanging out with this perfect guy. Your fear of a commitment is going to have him looking at the phone like, hold on, who is this? Uber ride, Uber driver. Why would you save the Uber driver number in your phone? I don't trust. Uber driver, call it. It's a girl. Who is this? Shanine? Are you a Uber driver? No. See, I knew you was a liar. Start arguing, fighting, boom, boom, boom. It was the Uber driver, but he saved the Uber driver's name in there 5 years ago. You know how Google be saving numbers. The person who was the Uber driver, that number he saved in there, changed the number. A girl got his number now. When you called, it was a girl. You ain't even let him explain because your emotional triggers, because you just knew at a certain point he was going to cheat. Dude ain't even cheat on you. You just have a fear of commitment and you just looking for a way out. If you don't do shadow work, I guarantee you it's going to happen. I'm to the point now, if y'all ain't like, it's interesting because I'll be like really talking about shadow work, like trying to understand it, and motherfuckers hop out in the forefront just talking about it. Like you can't just really just talk about shadow work without fully understanding it because 10 times out of 10 you suffer from the lack of it. That's like having a broken leg teaching people how to run, right? That's like me doing a weight loss training. I mean, I don't lost a lot of weight. I ain't even gonna lie. I can't even do fat jokes like I used to no more because I'm kind of sexy nowadays, but I digress. I digress. As we, taking all these medicines, energy building, shout out to ODB. The concept that I want y'all to leave home with, the concept that I want y'all to never forget is that Love is waiting on you, and what you seek is seeking you at this very moment. However, I'm gonna let Rumi do my talking for me because he's a way more eloquent speaker and writer than I am. So let's continue. At the third grade reading level, here we go. When I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of stress and anxiety. Wow, I love that. When I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of stress and anxiety. If I sit in my own place of patience, Ashe, what I need flows to me, and without pain, Ashe. From this, I understand that what I want also wants me, is looking for me and attracting me. Listen, y'all, Ashe, there's a great secret here for anyone who can grasp it. Great secret here for anyone who could grasp it. You can meet somebody new this week, somebody unusual, somebody great. You can meet your ultimate divine twin flame soulmate. But don't forget about them obligations and kids that you already got where you jumped the gun. Why? Because you connected with somebody out of order. What was the order for which you were supposed to connect with somebody? You were supposed to connect with your higher self. And then it was going to bring that love. However, most of us said, higher self, that's so interesting. I watched that video that you did on the higher self. That was good. I like that video. But did you merge with your higher self though? Yeah, I merged with my higher self. Do you love it? Love it. What you mean love it? I love Jermaine. I love Jermaine. I love Charmaine. And that's the end of it. So with that being said, spiritualers out here in these streets, be sure to join learnsidereal.com so you get the full article and tune in and tap into these courses and lectures that will be uploaded daily. If I can get 2 a day, that's going to be cool, but definitely 1 a day. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the forgotten goddess, which will tie into this Antares energy, which will tie into sidereal astrology, which will tie into our observation. And from that observation, we will be able to do work. We can look at these alignments and say, okay, the portal is open, right? The alignment to the goddess energy is here. Now, do you want to take it or do you want to be mad that your baby daddy got another girlfriend? So, with that being said, y'all go ahead and like, share, subscribe. I don't know what y'all going to do. Is y'all going to email me? Is y'all going to buy some herbs? I don't know what y'all going to do. But whatever y'all decide to do it to the highest level. If y'all need any further elaboration on this conversation, please let me know. And if y'all want some videos for me to do towards topics that y'all think, well, I wish Hood would give me his perspective on this, I would love to do it. Also, man, if you love this content and you just like my videos and want to support this content, knowing that YouTube give me $200 every 2 months, please be a Patreon. The reason that I do these videos so consistently, the way that I do them, is specifically for the Patreon family, meaning that if the Patreon family says, you know what, Hood Mystic, fuck you, man, these videos will cease to exist. So I can't thank the Patreon family enough for putting food in my belly. And, if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, put some food in my belly, please join the Patreon because putting this information together, putting these blogs together, doing all of this work. If you find value in it, you find enjoyment of it, please know that it comes at a great sacrifice. It is 9 o'clock and I've been away from my family the whole entire day compiling this information, putting this information together. I probably saw my kids 2 or 3 times a day, probably gave my wife a kiss 4 or 5 times. And usually we had a level of like 10 to 20. So because I've had a reduction of kisses and love, I say please donate to the Hood Mystic Cash App, join the Patreon family, or do yourself a service, get yourself some herbs. But don't just buy the herbs, make sure you take the herbs. Don't buy the steam, make sure you utilize the steams because wife got a powerful email about a woman who have been taking her steams for a year. She suffered from PCOS. She wasn't having regular menstrual cycles. And she said, from using my wife's products after a year, she normalized her menstrual cycles. She don't have PCOS symptoms, and her menstruations don't hit as hard as they usually do. So if you suffer and you need some support in that suffering, please contact my wife. She'll get your ass together. No cap involved. All right. So thank y'all for tuning in to this edition of the weekly Astro Report. LearnSidereal.com is the site to get the full article. I hope you join us. It is a social media club for spiritual people. I'm about to add a topic as soon as I get off this video on dreams and dream decoding. So if you post um pictures and shit on Instagram, don't nobody like, you ask questions on Facebook, don't nobody answer, come to the mystery school, tapping into my inertia ignite energy. Speaking of inertia ignite energy, let's watch the video and I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace. Fucking find it.